This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody. With me are Kyle and Eric.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello. We're kind of getting off to a late start today. It's just one of those lazy Fridays that I just can't
we've just been
motivate
sitting here
myself.
waiting for you to be ready.
Be like, let's do this, guys.
I think it was like 10 a.m. I was like, when did you want to do it? In a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours later.
4 hours later. Well, it happens though.
I
Not a
ended
big
up
deal.
having so much work planning out the next couple weeks of bookings. We're just getting into the fall season and print counts just get so much smaller. So not everybody gets something on the break, and then you're trying to fit it in off the break, but then you might be able to get something, so you don't want to crowd it yourself. It's just so many moving puzzle pieces at this time of year.
The life of scheduling for theaters.
Yes. So I am like looking a month out and trying to plan everything. I mean, I have a tentative plan cleared through the end of December. Actually, I'm actually planning the rest of the year, but hard coding in the next like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But it's good to have to lay it all out at this time.
Yeah.
So-
Hopefully not too many shakeups, but there's a lot of interesting
there's-
stuff coming this fall. So
As soon as I put it on paper, it's going to change.
yeah,
That's what erasers were invented.
exactly.
Yes, I still use paper and pencil and erasers. Although I do have a really awesome booking system, I still need a worksheet. I'm
Can't
old
remember the
school
last
that
time.
way.
I can't
I love
remember
the
the
way
last
she
time
laughed and we're like, oh.
I can't remember the last time I used a pencil.
Actually,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm all about the
Weird.
pens.
That's so funny. I
Hashtag
just
pen life.
with as much erasing as I have to do, you go back to the pencil.
It adds character to like scribble it out.
I would
In
lose
pen.
so much space through so many scribbles.
You gotta make sacrifices.
I do. I sacrifice the eraser to the paper. No, I just had to sharpen 24 pencils for my son's first grade class.
Oh.
was
What
really
brand
fun.
pencils does he get?
oh my gosh.
Is he a Ticonderoga or is he a
I just got I got
what's the
Target.
other one?
I got Target brand pencils.
Dixon? Oh.
But they're orange. They look like traditional pencils.
Yeah.
But I could tell the quality wasn't as good.
Yeah.
The wood was very soft, and that's fine. I had to go buy a pencil sharpener though. I got an electric one. I'm like 24 pencils. Sticking it in there.
The cranking builds character.
We had a crank one here in the office, like a wall-mounted one, but I'm
Really?
not sure
Those
where.
are my favorite.
I'm not sure where it went. Remember where you could turn the dial and the different pencil sizes?
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, did you know pencils came in different sizes?
This is such a painful conversation.
Why?
This is.
I love
Pencil talk.
pencils. I love pencils. It's something everybody use, and you
Yeah.
use them for a long time. You develop certain relationships with different types of pencils.
Yeah.
There's what were they called? Tri-Rites, 3-sided. Then there were like the black Ticonderogas that were a little rubbery on the outside. You have like the fat preschool age ones. Those are my
fat ones.
favorite. I would steal them from my teacher's desk.
What?
Now you
You
can get
just stole
to help
them from your
to help
teacher.
kids hold the pencil correctly. You can get little forms, like little that they put their fingers.
Oh, the
into.
rubber grips.
Yeah.
I actually do remember
those
that.
those
yes.
are popular.
There's just rubber grips that were like a padding on the pencil, but these are like
Oh yeah, no, they're
specially
like
formed.
molded.
Yeah.
They're like fat and awkwardly
Yeah.
shaped.
They teach you how to hold it the right way.
Well,
'cause
when you're
in pain
young,
using
when
them.
you're little,
Oh,
and,
now
like,
I'm
in
this
grade school, and you can't like drive around and get your own stuff. You only see these pencils if you stumble upon them, and if
Right.
it's like, oh, I gotta get this the only way I can. So
My son was so excited.
you steal.
We had a couple pencils that were unsharpened because we didn't have a pencil sharpener. So when I bought the one, I was doing it for his class. He's like, the Christmas pencils, the Halloween pencils. So yeah, we have pencils galore now.
Pencils. Kyle's over there just thinking he's
I'm
above
I'm
this.
Yeah.
dying over here.
Why?
To start off this podcast, we have pencil talk.
Yes.
This is great entertainment.
Everything's worth talking about. There's an
Oh.
emotional center to the
I
pencil
was like,
talk.
okay,
Right.
cool. 1 or 2 lines about pencil. Oh, okay.
No.
We're really. Oh, wow. We're deep in this conversation
Oh.
now.
You gotta find
Absolutely.
the beauty in the mundane.
Right. Well, and kids these days, they don't understand having to get up in class and sharpening their own pencil. They're grinding of it, getting the right size in the loop. Holding it just right so that you don't grind one side more than the other.
Well, let's spare Kyle since
Yeah.
he's too good for pencil talk.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk about something that's slightly more interesting,
Yeah.
maybe, than pencils.
So on this
How was the Peanut Butter Falcon?
I think this is far more fascinating a conversation than pencil
we'll see.
talk.
We'll see.
Because I adore this movie quite a bit. Basically, it's a movie about this guy named Zach. He has Down syndrome, and he has to live in a retirement home since he was abandoned by his family, and there's no real other place for him to be taken care of, so that's the best spot for him. And he escapes so that way he can goes to learn to be a professional wrestler because he was inspired by one of his heroes. Along the way, he runs into Shia LaBeouf's character Tyler, and they set off on a road trip adventure so that way they can kind of escape their past that they didn't quite like and off to a better future for themselves. And it's
Sounds
an
like
adoring movie, especially because of the chemistry between the two. You can tell that Shia and Zach, whose real name is also Zach, loved working with each other. They loved the chemistry that was coming off of one another, and it just feeds into this movie. Dakota Johnson, when she jumps into the movie, it also just adds
she's
even
in there.
more.
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't she his caregiver that she's trying to go after him to
yeah,
bring him back?
Yeah, she gets more of a role in the second half of the movie than the first one, but and when she really does get more of a role, then it just adds even more of an entertainment value to it. What I really endured though is that this movie has like a lot of life lessons, like learning to respect people, even though people can be different from you, or not forgetting certain types of people, like people with Down syndrome. Like, don't forget about them because they are people too. Don't try and treat them too differently because like they're just like you and me. They are people, so let's just be
Well, that was my
accepting of
biggest
one another.
Question when I saw like the trailer for this movie is there's not a whole lot of people with Down syndrome in movies, just like, in general, but there's like this weird thing that I've seen where it's almost like people are so scared of portraying people with Down syndrome as like less than or different that they like overcorrect and make them just this one-dimensional like embodiment of like pure happiness and like joy.
Yeah.
And it's like that's kind of also not very good. So I was wondering if they were going to kind of do that with Zach's character in this movie.
No. I would say that they do not do that. Like, they actually give his character quite a lot of range for him to work with. They give him a lot of depth to work with on the character. He's written very well to where it's not insulting to the actor or to the character. Like, it's very much like anyone could have played this character and do a good job, but it's great that they picked this actor to be able to do it.
Cool. So I mean, him being Down syndrome isn't really integral to it. It's just kind of a part of him.
That's a good way of saying it. Like, it is a part of him.
Like, he's
and
still a flawed character.
Yeah.
Because like, people with Down syndrome are flawed, just like any other normal person.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the message of this movie, which I really appreciate as well. Was that just because someone is different from you doesn't mean you should disregard them or treat them any differently. Like, they should be regarded as people too. And I think that message really hits home, is really what brings upon this inspiring story for him to try and be able to reach his dreams, and for the rest of his friends on his journey to be able to reach their dreams too. And I think it's the most personal feel-good story of the year, but it's also like one of the better ones too. Because I've been a sucker for feel-good movies this year, but this one I really did adore for the right reasons. Like, I wasn't being forced, with like the aspiring music and the nothing quite like that, but just rather like I'm feeling those ways because I should be feeling those ways authentically.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, and I think more people should go see it. It's well deserving of your time.
Nice.
I'm
Maybe this weekend.
I'm just still thinking about pencils.
I want to know what happens in the end, but I know I shouldn't ask that on the podcast. So
They
I will ask it
probably
later.
form a happy found family. They reconcile with their broken past.
Maybe he gets to wrestle in like one of those backyard wrestling things.
Yeah, him and Shia probably wrestle. Do they wrestle?
They
at any
wrestle.
Do
point?
they wrestle? Shia does train him to be a wrestler while they're going to the school that Zach wants to go to in order to train some more, but
Shia LaBeouf's character wrestles?
no, but he just like kind of trains him on the
So
fly.
like, you know what? We can wrestle. Let's wrestle right here, right now. What, me? I can't wrestle. Of course you can.
Not quite like that. It's done
it
much
like-
better, I promise.
Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer, like going down the river,
Yeah, it really
having adventures.
it does kind of feel like Mark Twain
Esque.
light. It feels
Yeah.
inspired by Mark Twain stories.
Is there a
there's that.
metaphorical Peanut Butter Falcon?
No,
As like a
he,
No,
that's
it's
his
his
name.
Yeah,
That's
that's
his wrestling
literally
name.
the wrestling name he comes up with
Yeah,
while they're on the journey. That part's not a spoiler.
because Falcon
okay.
is part of the wrestler. His
Yeah, what's the
and peanut butter is his favorite sandwich or something.
what's the main wrestler? Because I know Thomas Hayden Church is the wrestler, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's the wrestler. I'm trying to remember the full name of it now. 'Cause
Lobster Man?
No, it was not Lobster Man. We're not going to talk about Lobster Man ever.
Such a forgettable character.
It is obviously not.
Not for
I don't know. It was like
For some
salty,
reason.
salty water or something like that. I need to double check. I can find it here somewhere.
Lobster
But Thomas
Man
Hayden
is the
Church is
perfect
also
wrestler name.
very good in it.
Just
The
saying.
Lobster would not be a
The
good
Lobster
wrestler
Man
name.
is the perfect wrestling name. He'll get you in his claws.
How threatening.
I know.
Sorry, taking up good airtime. Here we Saltwater Redneck.
Saltwater redneck.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
a
not
name.
based on any Falcons.
That's a name.
saltwater lobster.
I believe Zach wanted his name to be Falcon first, and then through shenanigans, it turns into Peanut Butter Falcon.
Okay. Well,
And when I say shenanigans, not in like a bad way, like through the hijinks. Like it's a good moment.
nice. Well, there'd be a good Labor Day movie for this weekend
Yeah.
since not a lot is coming out. So
Yeah, exactly.
catch
I
up on
hope
some of these films.
I hope more people give it a chance because I think
I'll try
people
and see
will
it.
come out and love this movie.
It'll be hard to be more feel good than my Midsummer director's cut, though.
I
The
know.
most feel good of the year.
It is, I swear.
I saw that Midsommar was having a director's cut, and I was like, does Eric even know?
Oh, you better believe
Oh,
it.
course Eric knows.
knew. He knew.
Hey, no.
I'm so excited.
So that is also coming out this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But down the road,
Oh, boy.
there's been a lot of talk about Martin Scorsese's Irishman movie.
Yep.
It's his foray with Netflix, and he really wanted a theatrical run of it. That was Netflix promised.
Yeah.
Turns
I mean, it's
out-
Martin Scorsese. He's like
Yeah.
one of the most film purists out there.
Yep. Turns out, though, Netflix doesn't want to deliver on that promise.
Nah.
No.
Thanks for making this probably great awards-worthy movie, but no, we don't want to put in theaters.
We
for
don't
you.
really want to have a theatrical window, so we're just going to put it on streaming.
Yeah, it's basically it's the Roma thing all over
Yeah.
again.
So basically, Netflix attempted to negotiate with the major theater chains, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, and of course they held firm to their 90-day windowing.
Mhm.
And if for those unfamiliar, the 90-day window is a theatrical window where films play exclusively in theaters and don't go to streaming or DVD or anything for 90 days. And Netflix didn't want to do that, and so they're just going to do their super limited qualifying theatrical runs in independent theaters in
Couple
just New
theaters,
York
maybe
and
in-
LA
Yep. Ugh.
to qualify for the Oscars, and then they're going streaming.
I wonder
right
what Martin
away.
Scorsese thinks about that.
I don't think
He's
he obviously has a say anymore.
Yeah, I know, but it's. I didn't think about that part because like I said, him, like Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, they're like the biggest names in like that purist sense. So they're very much champions of the traditional or the classic theatrical experience.
Yep.
So I can see him probably like, okay, guys, but you got to make sure that people can see this on the big screen in the immersive theater setting.
And they're going, oh, they can,
Yeah, they
But-
totally can if they.
but not exclusively.
But if they, and only if they live in one of these two cities.
Well, they will take dates and they will book it in the end of November, but it's going to be day and date with streaming. It's only going to be available to theaters, not in their pre-selected locations at the same time as it's available on the Netflix platform.
Yeah. The first thing I thought when I saw that, because I've said before how whether you like it or not, it's just I feel like almost impossible to be as immersed in a movie when you're watching it at home, streaming it. There's just too many distractions. There's light through the windows, things like that. And there's no way people are going to sit down and be totally immersed in this movie for 210 minutes.
No.
The same way that they would be if they saw it in a
Quite
theater.
a long movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really long. It's 3.5 hours exactly. So I don't know. I feel like this decision is just kind of going to maybe hurt it a little bit in terms of people's initial impressions of it.
Well, I think it's just going to happen with what happened with Roma, that there's
Yeah.
going to be some interest in it. It's going to get a lot of awards buzz because it's Scorsese, and it's probably done very, very well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's probably
Well,
masterful.
Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino,
Yeah.
Joe Pesci. It's like, it's the dream team from,
Coming back.
yeah.
Dream team of gangster films.
Yeah.
Yep. But the one positive thing I will say is that it kind of opens an opportunity in some markets where your competitor is a major chain like AMC or Regal, and you cater to an older audience that may not have Netflix. This
Yeah.
could work for you in that like very limited scenario.
But even for 3.5 hours, that's...
Yeah. I think
even for the older audience, I don't think they want to be sitting in a theater for that long.
unless it's got luxury recliners and they
They've
can
got
take a
luxury
nap.
recliners, maybe an intermission.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of older people, especially that I know, that length really isn't a thing
Right.
because
Well, yeah.
it's
They're not buying concessions.
that's
so.
your plan for the night or for the day. We're gonna go to the movie, and if you're there for a long time, it's like, and if the movie's good, you probably just think of like, I got a lot of bang for my buck.
Yeah. So it's not all doom and gloom, but it's not surprising.
It just seems a little petty.
It seems petty, and I was more surprised the idea that they were actually going to have a theatrical run than I was like, yes, the
We should have known
creative
better.
community is stepping up and kind of forcing this. And then it really showed that once you sign with them, there's no power. You have no control, no power,
There's like, yeah,
no
of course,
nothing.
we'll totally give you a
Yeah.
theatrical run.
And you brought up a really good point earlier, Eric, that it's on Netflix indefinitely. So what does it hurt Netflix to wait 30,
Yeah.
60, or 90 days?
I don't know. That's why I say it's kind of petty.
Yeah.
It's like it already boasts the big red N Netflix original. Its name is synonymous with the movie, and it's gonna be there for the rest of Netflix at least. So I don't really know what harm it's doing if it's.
I wonder if Netflix has data that shows that their original content or certain movies just drop off to nothing after.
Probably.
That
Oh,
there
there's
is
no way it doesn't.
There's a shelf life for
Yeah.
these things.
Probably.
And so
It's
that's
possible.
So they're probably, but without sharing what the reality is with that shelf life with any theatrical, to maybe like say, hey, let's work together on this. They just know what that shelf life is, and they're just trying to get.
Well,
it
there
as
has
much
to
as
be
they-
like a Netflix viewer data number conspiracy out there. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I love me a good conspiracy theory.
but maybe that shelf life is a lot shorter than what you think, because theatrical shelf life is pretty long. I mean, the exclusive 90-day window gives you 3 months. Plus, if it's really good, like Lion King or one of the Disney ones, like you can still see Avengers in theaters even now.
Yeah.
Like it's still playing.
Yeah, as long as the movie is good and it's a recognizable
Right.
property.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, there's no way that the drop off isn't way higher on Netflix. It's just the nature of streaming. There's
Right.
thousands and thousands and thousands of things to choose from.
oversupply.
When you watch things, you're probably not as invested. You're not going to remember as much about it afterwards. You're not going to talk about it as much.
I wonder if the shelf life if you compared like Netflix or streaming original movie shelf lives versus the shelf life of something that had been in the theaters. I wonder if the theater one is longer. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, it'd be an interesting, and only these platforms have that data.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder about Disney's streaming plus platform.
Ooh, are they going to show their numbers?
No, they definitely will not show their numbers because it's not.
Maybe unless if something is successful.
I don't think that they have to though, because
Probably don't have to. But
There's
for
no
bragging rights,
So is there
Editors,
any
it's
way to prove them wrong? Like, I remember when Bright came out. God, that was a terrible movie. I remember when Bright came out
True.
and Netflix was like, if this were translated to ticket sales or something, it would have been like a $50-60 million opening. Is there any way to disprove that?
no.
It's just like,
I don't think
says
so.
who?
They don't
You? Like,
Yeah.
This movie would have made this movie was like a $400 billion opening weekend,
Right.
guys. Just trust us.
it might have cost $4 billion, but
I can only hope that if streaming original movies don't have the shelf life that is like a cost associated with that shelf life to create and produce the quality of the stuff to get people staying on the platform, that they will start still reversing course and pushing back to theaters. If we ever see that change, then I feel like then you kind of know that they needed the theaters more than they were letting on for.
Well, attention spans are so short. Things are constantly coming in and leaving, and if it's not on that new releases little thumbnail thing on Netflix, then it doesn't matter if it's a Scorsese gangster film. It inevitably is just going to be lost in the pile, like everything else.
Well,
lots of things are built up and hyped, and then they're just after their first week of whatever. It's old news.
Yeah, I think of all the piles that people are gonna have to sift through now. All of the different streaming piles, because what was great about Netflix that I don't think will ever be replicated again unless Disney keeps buying everybody is the convenience of one platform to see everything. I think that's where Netflix's strength was, and as that starts to break apart and decentralize, I think that makes it harder and harder, and people will become pickier and pickier
for sure
with their dollars, whereas theaters are still legitimately one platform where you can see a lot of different things.
And it's a good enough at any given time. There's a big enough variety, but there's not so much that you get lost. It's like, I don't know how many movies are playing at our theater, like 9, 10.
Yeah.
And sometimes there have been points where I've seen everything. Like I've literally seen everything that's in the theater right now, but most of the time it's like, I haven't gotten around to those yet. Maybe I don't have anything else going on. Maybe I'll go.
$10 to go.
Because, there are lots of people who, if anything, it's still just fun to go to the movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just fun to get out of your house.
Yes, exactly. People don't really... I feel like they're going to start realizing that more and more and more since everything is so convenient and in one place.
Like, you can stay home, watch all
it's
your
WALL-E,
entertainment, and sit on your couch and then order your food to your door now. Like,
WALL-E, the humans in WALL-E are on the horizon.
Right. They are. It's
Pixar
really
was right
scary.
10 years ago.
It's inevitable.
At least they thought they were happy. The gun violence wasn't a problem.
Well, yeah, true.
You gotta be able to
Hovering
lift a
over.
gun. Yeah, you gotta be able to lift a gun to shoot it.
Yeah. So, that gets us into Disney. So yeah, Roma Irishman is going to have a Roma-esque theatrical distribution.
Part of me wonders if it'll make as big of a deal as Roma did come award season.
Well, we'll have to
again,
see.
assuming that it's going to be a good movie, which it probably will be.
I think the only thing it affects, it may not affect its awards other than Best Picture. I think people are still leery to give a non-theatrically distributed film Best Picture.
Because Roma was nominated for Best Picture, right?
Yeah, but it didn't win.
There's no way it was going to win.
That'll probably be what happens with this one now.
Yeah.
Where do we think there was a chance Roma was going to win?
Well, a lot of people did because it was winning at like other festival or
it won Golden Globe
awards.
Yeah,
it won like at other ones, but the Academy is just a little bit different, and there's a lot more like purists or kind of people who believe in the purity of the theatrical experience.
Sure.
So kind of it can be nominated, because it was one of the best movies of the year. If they didn't nominate it, people would get all angry online.
It's still because the Academy is still made up of the creative community, and the creative community recognized the quality of that film and all the people that worked on it, and they recognized the director for it and the cinematographer, but they weren't going to give it the award because there's just that difference in what the Best Picture of the year is versus being able to say, hey, this was the best director that directed anything. This was the best cinematographer that created anything.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But we've been here before.
Yeah. At
least
we got heads up
on it. It's
on
not so much interesting for me. Like, it's just Roma all over again. So I'm like, all right. I'm used to it now. What is it, transition? No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
So,
we're used to it.
The other big news that happened, this kind of goes right into it, was Disney had their D23 convention, and I was supposed to go to that, but couldn't make it. Sad, because they unveiled a lot of stuff about their Disney Plus platform.
Yeah, kind
so-
of giving us a clearer picture of exactly what their future is going to look like
Yeah.
the next couple of years.
Oh my gosh, we have so many Star Wars properties. We have so many Marvel properties on there. We have like live action Lady and the Tramp is going to be on there.
High School Musical TV show.
Lizzie
Lizzie
McGuire.
McGuire's coming
High
back,
School-
guys.
High School Musical, the musical,
The series.
the series.
The
Yeah,
legit
that's
title for
literally
that.
the name.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh well, whatever.
Lady and the Tramp trailer dropped on that, and I knew that when they announced the Lady and the Tramp a long time ago being on streaming, I was like, it's probably not going to be very good, and it is totally your animated dogs with movie mouths. It's just
I mean, aesthetically, the movie looks good, but it's just
It's pretty.
the dogs and cats moving their mouths thing. I'm not a fan. I think it's
I don't think
very
anybody's
outdated.
ever been a fan of that.
Like
So
they're
creepy.
annoying to me. Like I think of like show dogs and then cats and dogs when I was younger.
Revenge of Kitty Galore.
Yeah, I think there was like a Homeward Bound movie that did it too, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Come on!" But
Air Buddies or
Yeah.
whatever.
Air Buddy, I don't know. Like despite technology getting better to make that look better, it still is just dumb to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever. Yeah. Despite it not being in theaters or in on Disney Plus, I just don't care about it.
But I think
It's
the,
fine.
the big news was obviously the first look at the Mandalorian, which is John Favreau's series
I saw
Yep.
that on my phone.
And the
it
Obi-Wan
looks
series being
incredible.
announced.
with Ewan
Something-
McGregor coming out, finally announcing it.
Something I was never sure. I was never convinced that they would make a series like that, but I didn't put it past them.
Right.
Because like the prequel audience, the fans of the prequels are now older and it's nostalgic to them. And
Yeah.
Right.
They're very vocal about their like almost ironic love of the prequels, and Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is, amazing. You can't really
he was
say
the
that he's
best
not.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's objectively just great.
Yeah.
So that it's an obvious decision that Disney did, but I was like, okay, they actually are going to do that.
Did you see how he was feeding the crowd with the announcement? Because he was like on stage and he was talking to Kathleen Kennedy. He was like, Kathleen, ask me again if I'm gonna play Obi-Wan. And the crowd's like, oh my god! And then she's like, Are you gonna come back and play Obi-Wan? And he just looks at them. And he goes, yes. And everyone's just like everyone's nuts, throwing chairs and
No, I mean the
things
biggest
on
thing
fire.
right there is, they have to, if they're going to keep the Star Wars brand going and popular, because like we had said before, after Rise of Skywalker, there's not going to be any theatrical movies for a few years,
Yeah.
I guess. So, the Mandalorian and this Obi-Wan thing, and then what's the other one? Something about the Rogue One guy. They're
oh
gonna
yeah,
have
one
to.
of the Rogue One characters has
Yeah,
a show with
that's- yeah.
Alan
That'll
Tudyk's
be stupid.
droid. I forget the
KS2O
details on it.
is coming back?
KS2O,
K2SO.
yeah.
K2SO, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have his Funko Pop somewhere in here. And amongst,
Well, I guess that's not surprising.
I think
but-
or
it's
did
on.
did I
have
take
no
it out
idea.
to
My
your?
desk, yeah.
Okay, I took it out. Let Eric.
that's right.
up in my
Eric
up
enjoy
on the
it.
shelf. But yeah, no, they have to come up with things that are going to keep it in the public conscience.
They announced
Was it-
so many Marvel shows.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
really going
God.
all in on the Marvel shows. Every character is almost getting their own show.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
biggest takeaway for me that is best seen in the Mandalorian trailer
Yeah.
is that like just production quality wise,
Oh, yeah.
like
It's literally
it's
like
industry.
a movie.
Yeah, the line is like blurred, between what does a movie look like versus what does a series look like.
Yeah,
Like Game of Thrones was already blurring that pretty well, and now it's just like with the Disney money, the Disney wallet, it's like, whew, there is no difference.
no, that was really interesting. Although I just have to say, I'm just not interested in a bounty hunter show. Like
Give me all those bounty hunters.
That's probably like the one reason as of now that
Just
I
not
would be
excited.
swayed to get a Disney Plus account just so I can see that show.
Oh, everyone's
But-
getting Disney Plus.
Oh, everyone will for
I'm
sure.
getting it.
The bundle
I
the
don't
bundle
know,
thing
we'll
with
see.
Hulu might sway me too, but
I already
I
Hulu.
have Hulu, so I'm like, well, will it lower? I might only get it if it lowers my monthly Hulu amount.
which it should, I think.
But is it the
Maybe.
commercial-free Hulu, or
no,
is it?
it's commercial Hulu.
It's probably commercial
Hulu with
Hulu.
ads.
Yeah, see, I don't want Hulu with ads. I
No,
pay
me either.
extra to not have ads. So
No, I have ad-free Hulu, and then I like go to my friend's house and we'll watch something on there, and I'm like, what is this?
I know it's
Like,
frustrating.
What are these things that are
Peasants.
showing us stuff?
Get it out of here! I don't like
Can't
it.
afford the $8 extra to get
I don't
no ads.
like it.
You have poor friends.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Disney's can just do anything
Yeah.
with the money they have.
Yeah.
Did you guys like any of the stuff that they showed for the theatrical movies? Did you guys read up on anything for, like
Other
Frozen
than
2
Star Wars,
and
no.
Onward? And
I was so out of the loop with D23.
I mean, they
Um,
basically just showed like images for like Frozen 2 and Onward, and I think they showed footage for Mulan, if I remember correctly.
Was that behind closed doors? I feel like I read an article saying like some stupid headline like Mulan footage brings the house down or something.
I mean, it probably just at the event, because it's just like a giant auditorium and people go into it, so
Yeah.
they probably brought that roof down. I don't know. But
They did show Star Wars Rise of Skywalker footage.
Yeah. I
love
we
that
had a
trailer.
huge debate here in the office.
'Cause
It
it's up
wasn't a
online
debate.
now.
It was not a debate.
It was totally a debate.
it's not a debate,
Yes, there were points made on both sides, valid arguments.
and we were right.
I watched that footage from that Rise of Skywalker sneak peek, whatever, from D23,
Mhm.
and I just watched it really quickly, kind of half being like, "What is this?" And I thought that evil Rey that everybody's
the
talking
money
about,
shot of the trailer.
whatever. I don't think that was the money shot of the trailer.
That was
doesn't
the
matter if
money
you think
shot.
it was. That was definitely designed to be the big money
Yeah.
shot.
Okay, well, I thought that was Carrie Russell. I was like,
what?
why is she evil?
Every single publication in the world's headline, and
didn't-
immediately afterwards, like, "Whoa,
Well,
jaw-dropping! Dark Ray
that
is
does
Ray
not look
evil?
like
Dark
Daisy
Ray,
Ridley.
Sith Ray with a double-bladed red
I
lightsaber.
know.
Ray,
That lightsaber
Ray,
was
Ray."
pretty cool. Was pretty cool.
Yeah, the
And then
lightsaber was
Cody's
awesome.
like,
Carrie
"Is
Russell
that
did
Carrie
a great
Russell?"
job at wielding that lightsaber.
She did.
Yeah, Cody's like, "Oh yeah, because Carrie Russell's gonna be Ray's mom, right?" It's like, well, no, and that was Carrie Russell. It's like, no, no, it wasn't.
It totally, in my mind, I know that it's not. It's probably not Carrie Russell, but I just cannot
it's
convince
probably
myself
not.
it's not.
It is 5,000% not Carrie
It
Russell.
looks so much more like her than it does Ray.
Well, I
to me.
had a good laugh about it regardless. I thought that was the funniest thing I've heard all day.
What? This is not
Oh
a
my
hill you
goodness.
want to die on. It's not Carrie Russell.
I know, but I don't know why I can't accept and move on that that's not Carrie Russell. Like,
'Cause
I
it's
just
not?
physically can't be like,
So
yeah.
Cody's theory for Dark Ray is that it's secretly Carrie Russell and we just don't know it.
Yeah.
What's your theory
And
on
then it's a
Dark Ray,
vision.
Eric?
Yeah, it's probably just a vision.
It's probably just a vision.
It's
But
just
I'm going for twins.
a force vision.
There's a
No.
twin out there.
We do not have enough time left in this series to introduce a secret twin.
Oh,
Or do we?
No, we don't.
I mean, there is a spin-off show that just got announced for Disney Plus, Ray's Evil Twin.
Oh my god. I hate Star
It's
Wars.
probably just a vision like in Empire, yeah.
Where evil Luke was it? Where his head was cut off and in the Darth
Yeah.
Vader mask.
Yeah.
That was actually disturbing as a kid. I
Right?
had to
Yeah,
close
it
my
still
eyes
is.
during that scene.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I know this is the part. It's because it's so hazy and misty and foggy.
And he cuts his head off.
Yeah, part's pretty messed up
To
too.
Do we
reveal
not
himself.
talk about that? To reveal himself? Is this a Rey revealing herself?
It took me way too long when I was little to realize that was Luke's head inside of that.
You thought it was
So
Carrie
I guess-
Russell, huh?
You know? Yeah.
When I was little, I thought it was that's what Darth Vader was a young boy, like a young
Yeah,
like
that's
a
kind of
young
what
man.
I was like, whoa, Darth Vader's just this little guy?
Yeah. Just a cherubic childlike man.
That's like my favorite word. I don't know why. In Good Boys, just because I'm going to make this quick reference. Will Forte's talking to him about, I forget what he was saying, is after he trashed the house
Yeah.
with the drone, and he's like, curse you and your cherubic cheeks and irresistible
He's like,
charm or something.
You don't get to call me dad anymore. I'm Mr. Blah 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 to you.
Oh.
I still love you, but I don't like you.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric finally went and saw Good Boys. And
It's
it's
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's good.
It is very, very funny.
Yeah, he
Okay.
likes it.
Get back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, back to the Star Wars
I
talk.
thought it was great. Super excited for this trailer. I was getting a little worried there because they were, like they always do, they hold off on really showing anything. And, you know, of the 3 teasers, this was definitely my least favorite teaser.
Has there been
Yeah,
3?
I don't
For
like
for the sequel trilogy.
I don't like
The
when they
Force
take,
Awakens teaser, Last
Oh,
Jedi teaser,
okay.
and this teaser.
I don't like when they take the old footage and like remember the originals that you've come to love. Well, this is
I
this
didn't
is the
mind that so much
continuation of
just because
that.
I was listening to the music and I'm like,
I
oh, John
hate
Williams,
that.
fill
It was
fill
mostly
my
just the
ears.
sizzle reel for the D23
I
event.
know,
so
but
it's
I just let it go. Let
Well,
it
I
go.
mean, I'll let it slide
They
this
tried
time
in
because
Last
it,
Jedi.
it's the last, it's
didn't
the end of the
work.
whole saga. It's the end of the whole saga, so they gotta show the saga.
Yeah,
but
I don't really count it as a trailer anyway. Like it's mostly
It's totally a trailer,
I mean,
it
the
is
sizzle reel at the
100% a
beginning,
trailer.
and I'm
it's
not.
a teaser.
and it ends and it says the Rise of Skywalker and it says December.
I
it's a
do
trailer.
like that they're not like overdoing it on the marketing, at least not yet anyway. Like I like that there's this build up, and
No, I love
we
it.
just
I'm
don't
just-
have much to go off
I was
of.
just saying because I didn't love the teaser, like the original teaser, and then there's just nothing in between. I was just like, oh no, am I not that excited for Star Wars? And then I saw this,
no,
and then
they're
I
just
saw all
doing
the
it right.
I saw all the OG Star Destroyers. I was like, oh my god,
You're like, nope, they got me back
give it to me
in.
right now.
Well,
So, yeah,
anyway,
I loved it.
this one's not going to matter too much because they're going to show another trailer eventually, and then something else will appear there.
They have-
and it's going to cause people to freak out.
They
Maybe
have
they'll show 2
Maleficent
Dark Rays.
And they have Maleficent and Frozen 2 to be able to trailerize.
I think they did show Maleficent 2 at D23 also.
I'm sure they did.
I don't really know what they
Little
would show,
something.
but
I'm amazed at how many of these Disney things I don't care about at all. Like,
I'm super excited for Frozen 2, though. I think that's going to be so big. It's at Thanksgiving. I'm
yeah.
really looking
I'll
forward
probably,
to that.
Yeah, I'll see that. But I just don't think about it, like day to day. Like,
I think
Sure.
about it. I've been talking
like a
yeah,
sane
that's-
person.
I've been talking about
coming out.
to my boys about it. Be like, they're gonna have another Frozen movie. We should watch it. The first one.
What did they say to that?
They're like, okay, Mom,
for you.
for you. They do let me pick a movie every once in a while.
Well, good calling it being Frozen.
You know what I really want? I want another Mulan movie. I like a live action Mulan. That would be good.
Are we
I mean,
getting that?
not Mulan.
Yeah, it's next-
Sorry, Moana. Moana.
Oh, okay. I
It
was
is
like,
way
yeah.
too soon for a
I was like, was that
live-action Moana.
sarcasm?
No,
Like,
I just want it. We listen to that soundtrack all the time. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I
that
need
one
me
is very
more
good.
Moanas.
Except for Shiny.
I was surprised how
Get that song out
No.
there. We've had this conversation
Yes.
before.
I hate
It's
them
not
all.
good.
I hate them all. I like him when I'm
Mr.
watching the
Drabble
movie, but I do not want to
Crabbles.
ever hear any of them detached from the movie.
Oh, detached? No, it gets annoying.
Yeah, I
Sure.
hate it. All Disney movies. I hate hearing Disney songs detached from the movies.
Hate it.
Just I don't know what it is, but I can't escape people who just love to put on Disney songs like
Oh yeah, no,
as like
my-
a background like party music or something, or at work if it's late and we're closing and they
Not
got
this
to play.
work.
No, like
we
at,
should
Previous
start.
at my old
jobs.
retail jobs, and it's like closing time. It's like, ooh, we get control of the PA. It's like play Disney songs. It's like, oh my god.
That's
So you're
how they
just
get
doing
ya.
this because it's memey and it's funny to sing along. I don't know. I hate it.
I'm sorry. I do like Moana. That's the only one we listen to.
I love you, Eric.
It's just one of the worst.
That's not the. How do you know? You don't listen to them outside the movie.
Because that's the most. That was what my original point was. I'm surprised at how like Moana has just took off.
Yeah.
Its music and just the movie itself.
Well,
I say
yeah.
it's probably next to like Frozen, like the most popular like current
However,
era
when
Disney
it came
movies.
out, it didn't. It came out right after Frozen,
Yeah.
and it was.
Oh, it's kind of a
not
sleeper.
a bomb, but it just
Oh,
really
it's
didn't
a
open
sleeper
very
hit,
wide.
for sure.
And I was worried that that was a little racial element because it was like a brown girl and not. We had just come off Moana being Frozen being these white girl protagonists, and
yeah.
so I think it suffered.
I feel like a
little
lot of
from
people
that.
thought that at first, but it's huge growth.
Oh,
it's kind of inspiring to see. Little kids, they don't care about
no.
things like skin color or like what culture it takes place. It's just an entertaining adventure movie.
My boys will see a toy and like the hey hey chicken. They're like hey hey. They freak out over that silly little chicken. I'm like,
The
"Ugh."
chicken's pretty great. I did just remember that at D23, they did say a new song played for Frozen 2, and people are already predicting it's going to be much bigger than Let It Go, so be prepared.
I don't think you can get bigger than Let It Go.
Just what I've heard in the rumblings of the places.
I feel like the two
and the
biggest
things.
like we should debate this another time, but for me the two biggest songs that I can remember from movies that made it into the cultural zeitgeist were Let It Go from Frozen and Skyfall, Adele's Skyfall. I played forever on the radio.
True. I remember that.
That was
Yeah.
a big one.
I was always
Which
just
is such
amazed
a
because
weird
I don't
radio
listen to
song.
the radio, so all of these things that are huge, I never actually even hear until way later if I go out of my way. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that apparently this song called Let It Go from Frozen was inescapable, and people were like, I hate it. I hate little girls now because they always sing this song. and I was like, I've never even heard it. And then when I watched Frozen for the first time, I heard it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a nice jingle.
Like Old Town Road.
That's what I was just going to
Yeah.
say that one.
I didn't hear that for the first time until like last week.
I purposely listened to it. I'm like, what is this garbage? Why do
The
people
longest
like it?
running #1 song in history.
I'm like, I'm old. You know how
I
all
thought
of a
it was
sudden,
funny.
how all of a sudden you get out of it, like you think you're with it, and then all of a sudden you're not with it anymore. I'm not
Hasn't
with
happened
it.
to me yet.
Realizing
Not with
TikTok
it.
was a thing, that's where I knew.
TikTok was a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
The app,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
TikTok.
Xenolon app.
Did not know it was a thing until too late.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh man, maybe
Well, I
have
guess when I
gotten
was
out of
home
touch.
for my birthday, somebody
so funny.
described a song as a bop. And I was like, what?
As a bop.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
My friends
What
and
are
I
you
say that to
talking
each
about
other
that?
about songs all the time. So
was
that's
like-
really funny. Someone
I was
else
like, maybe
does
it's because I
that.
just turned 25, but I have no idea what you mean by bop. Like,
That's a thing.
yes!
Oh my god.
Yes!
I honestly thought that was a thing in my friend circle
No.
because we do that all the
No,
time.
it's a thing.
So that's
I hate it.
really funny.
Like a
That's
bebop.
I was like, is that like fire or a jam?
oh my gosh, that's
my jam. That's
Is
fantastic.
a
it
bop.
sick?
I don't know. I was
Guys,
like,
it's a bop. It's so good.
I was like,
Come
like
on.
kids bop? What?
Like,
That's
bop it?
what I thought when you said a bop, like
Yeah.
a beep bop.
It's like this, if it's not kids bop or
Beep
bop
bop.
it, I don't know what you're talking about.
that's
it.
amazing.
That's
Oh
crazy.
my
Now
gosh.
you're making me feel even older. So not only did I not like the music, 'cause I'm like, what are these kids listening to these days? I don't even know how to describe it
I just
anymore.
honestly thought that was only something like my friends and I said.
Yeah, you
but
know, Old
apparently
Town
it's
Road, it's a
thing.
bop.
It's wonderful.
It's
It's
like,
a
no,
bop.
I
Oh
don't know.
my god.
Uh,
I really don't feel like I'm that old either.
You're not.
But
It's just
I'm so out
things
of touch.
move and change so fast, you know? It's
darn
just a
cell
natural part,
phones.
it's a natural part of life.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to add on to the D23 stuff?
No, I think that's
No,
pretty much
I
it for
kind of
Disney.
wish I would have gone to it now because there was a lot of fun things.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the like the panel coverage or the like
Right.
other than
They
like
don't
the
really-
trailers themselves. I haven't seen anything from it.
They don't really do that at D23. It's more
Well, like that Ewan McGregor thing.
yeah.
I think
That's probably funny. I
it
haven't
was
seen that.
Entertainment Weekly that I found clips for it. I'll
Yeah,
try and find
they
it
get
and see if I can
everything.
send it to you guys. It was on Friday? No, not Friday. Anyway, I can't think of it now, but I'll try and find it for you guys.
Well, let's move on to our last
Yeah.
big topic.
The only,
Sure.
the only
Wait.
thing I'll say about D23 and all the Disney Plus is it makes me sad that's not in theaters. Like that's the biggest. And
Well,
I've
that's what I'm
always,
saying. The Mandalorian,
Right.
that trailer, totally
Could've
could
been-
pass for a movie,
Yeah.
like a blockbuster
Yeah.
movie trailer.
I feel like this is where streaming is going to start hurting theaters. Is because they're going to take good content
Mhm.
away, like
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian.
It's here. Well, I guess November 12th.
I mean,
it'll
no
be
one-
here.
no
Maybe
one's
it could have been a
upset
good
over-
movie, but it's kind of like it's supposed to be made for TV, so I'm not really too upset by that. But
The
with,
thing,
with their other movies, at least that's kind of a bummer that we don't get them all at
the thing that's interesting to me
theaters,
Yeah.
so.
about Disney Plus, like specifically, I'm thinking of The Mandalorian, is they're not doing the Netflix dump them all at once thing.
No,
Like they're
That
gonna
is
be,
smart. I do
they're
like
gonna
that.
they're gonna do the wait a week,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is smart because it'll keep people talking about it the
Mhm.
way that people were talking about Game of Thrones for the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you drop everything at once, like with Stranger Things, how it
Right.
used to be like the biggest thing ever, and then the third one came out, people talked about it for like 2 days, but everybody had already watched it. Everyone who cared enough had already seen it, and then
Yeah.
it's old news within a week.
Yeah, the DC Universe service does it for their shows, and it works. I think it works so much better. Like, yeah, it's like normal television, but it's still on
Well,
like
that's
their own
good.
service, and I like the anticipation of it
Delayed
a lot.
gratification is a good thing.
although there are some shows that I wish would get dumped, like What We Do in the Shadows. I know that's an FX show, but FX
yeah, then you
is now
watch it
Disney,
all, and then you have a year.
I just watch it all again and again and just enjoy it. I can't wait for that second season to come back. All right, moving on. We have a little bit of news and some trailers to talk about. So, Kyle, Flash, getting
Yeah,
a new
you care
director.
about that, right?
What's going
I do
on with
care
that?
about that.
When are we
well,
going to get our Flash movie, Kyle?
I think I know we've said it the past couple of times, but I think this is the one. I think we found the guy. I think they're going to stick with it. So John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, those guys that made Game Night, and we thought they were going to direct The Flash. Well, they're not anymore. Yeah. They left back in July, I think.
Probably
it was.
It's going to be terrible.
Well, they haven't even made it yet.
Yeah, they don't have to make
Game
it.
Night wasn't that great.
It's totally
good.
Okay if they just don't make it.
Brutal. Yeah. But anyway, the director of it, Andy Muschietti, I believe is his last name. Muschietti. He's going to be the director of the Flash movie after he takes like a short break from making It and It Chapter 2. But supposedly, like, that's his next movie. And that, I think, that'll be the director that they stick with.
Are they going dark, broody
Ezra
Flash
Miller
now?
wants them to.
Maybe. I do know that the interview where he made that announcement, he was saying that there's not going to be any horror elements as compared to like It and It Chapter 2, but it's going to have a lot of human drama similar to what happens in his It movies, which I like. I think that will be pretty cool because he's good at that at least. But dark and gritty, I don't know.
So
there are just some superheroes that
I don't
why do
think
you feel like you need to make it dark and gritty.
I agree.
And
I don't think you
edgy.
need to do that for the
Just
Flash.
look at how the Flash looks.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make me. You're not gonna convince me that with a dark, gritty movie when
With
that's
a bright
the
red
main
suit
guy.
with a gold.
It's like no.
Especially with
bolt.
how they've made that character with that actor before. And that character in general is just not a dark and gritty character, really.
Exactly.
I mean, there's some storylines, sure, but overall.
So they must be going that direction, though, because they got rid of the funny guys, directors, and now they're going with the horror drama guy.
Maybe. I mean, horror director did Shazam, and that ended up being lighthearted and
Well, directors
comedic,
do
so-
different tones in them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Genres
possible
all the
that it could
time.
be lighthearted still.
I mean, Danny Boyle just made Yesterday. You wouldn't really
Yeah.
think that that's the
Yeah.
movie he would make based
I know
on
the
all
guy
his
that
other
wanted
ones.
to kill James Bond.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure in terms of tone, but he does want to make at least like a human story for the Flash. So I guess
That's what every director has to say.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have, if all they mean by that is I want people to care about the character.
yeah,
the
which I
Flash-
think he'll be able to do well because he does that well in it.
Is the Flash going to be like a streaming platform thing for the
probably will
HBO
be.
Go or
HBO
HBO
Max?
at this point
Well,
now?
Probably.
maybe. I don't think that's
Yeah.
actually a far-fetched question. If I had to guess, probably not. But I don't think that's as far-fetched as
I feel like the
Right.
future of superhero
You
movies
think.
is streaming.
Is on streaming
Yeah.
now.
Something new is going to take over the block, like the theaters, and all of the major superhero things are going to go to streaming.
But once people see that new thing in theaters, they're going to want it to be on streaming too. And here we go all over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, despite this carousel of directors happening with this Flash movie, and it seems inevitable that this will never get made, I think that Warner's really likes this director and they'll want to stick with him.
Well, we made them a lot of money with it.
Exactly.
You'll probably make
and
them a lot of money with Chapter 2.
I think they have a lot of confidence in it.
Is Chapter 2 next week?
Yeah.
It is next Friday.
Yeah.
I just want to see
Friday, September 6th.
I want to see my big turtle.
God, that would be
I
awesome.
will not be watching this movie. I haven't seen the first one. I don't
good.
do horror.
There's a lot of jump scares that don't land as well as others, but the movie itself I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So yeah, I'm super
It scared
excited.
the pants off of me, but I really liked it.
Didn't scare me.
Fair, I'm a
No,
wuss.
thank you. We got to write another article about Bill Skarsgård's lazy eye contributing to the creepiness of Pennywise.
Yeah, go viral again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a hit 2 years ago,
It
right?
was a glitch in the Matrix.
So anyway, yeah, there was that news. So, there you go.
dark and gritty superheroes. Let's talk Joker.
That trailer is fantastic.
I am so surprised.
Everything about this movie that they've
Yeah.
shown has been fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Called it from the very beginning.
I am getting more hyped for this movie than I thought I would be. So I have to take credit for the team making this thing. It looks good.
It does look. The quality looks good. Joaquin Phoenix looks good, and I
Mhm.
just don't know if I feel like if this is really like he's gonna be the Joker as we all think he is, or is this just a descent into madness and it happens
They're
to
the
wear a
same
clown
thing.
mask?
Yeah.
I've been
the Joker
seeing
is
oh.
Joker is madness. They're the same.
hilarious, sickening madness. I've been seeing a lot from like the director. Like this isn't taken from inspiration of the Joker or any of his
Nope.
storylines. Like this is just
Yeah.
a character piece on.
Well, yeah, he talked a
someone
lot about
becoming
how
a Joker as
they don't make
type
movies
person.
like Apocalypse Now or Taxi Driver anymore, where
Right.
the whole movie is about this one person's either descent or ascent or just like a true character study in every sense of the phrase.
Yeah.
And so this movie is just that. It just happens to be about a character that we've come to know as a comic book character.
I hope that doesn't scare people away. I mean, I'm going to give this a chance and go see it, but I hope it doesn't scare people who are like, it's not based off of anything.
Oh,
like,
it will, but only stupid, toxic comic fanboys.
Yeah. Which I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope everyone gives it its fair share. 'Cause I think this can be really
Todd
good.
Phillips
the more I
already
see it.
knows that there's going to be people like that, and he's already come out and be like, guys, just don't worry, he'll get remade again.
Yeah, that's right. He did say that.
Just wait your turn.
Warner's is going to be showing this to a bunch of film festivals too. So apparently they have really high hopes for this.
I don't know if it's playing at the
something
Venice.
special.
I think it's playing at the Venice.
I believe it is.
And
Venice
that's going
and
right now.
One or two others.
Because other movies have been coming out with incredibly strong reviews, like Ad Astra. And if this is playing at Venice, which I believe it is,
yeah,
we should be seeing like actual critical reactions here in this week, next week.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
No,
Which is exciting.
even gave me chills, and I don't like movies like this, but this one I
love
like.
it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
I'm actually really
sickly,
interested.
sickly body.
He's
I was very
so sickly, like he's so thin.
He lost, I think, 52 pounds for it.
52 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he
some
looks,
actors, man,
And
just
that
natural
laugh.
for them.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I was.
The thing I was most surprised about is in the trailer when it shows what looks like the city kind of devolving into like riots.
Yeah.
Where everybody was wearing clown masks. All of a sudden, I was like, that seems like a bigger scope than what we had been led to believe. Because the whole idea is it's just this one guy going crazy, but now it seems like that's mirrored or
Maybe it's this one guy going crazy that starts this.
it looks like there's a mirror of
Yeah.
just society in general going crazy, which I'm
Mhm.
sure is an intentional point
Mm.
that it's trying to make. But I wasn't expecting to see a scale or the story be on that scale.
I hope that part of the story plays out well.
I think it will. It looks like the climax to me, but
Yeah, probably.
It looks like it'll probably go like parallel. Well, it'll be like a parallel story that feeds off of each other in a sense. Like
could be.
as
Maybe.
you see more character development, you see more
yeah,
city
I don't imagine us
consequences.
ever leaving his character though. So
No.
like I feel like in the background
It's
you're
like
gonna
a secondary.
see in the
thing.
background you're gonna see this city going downhill while he is also going downhill.
I
I don't know. It made me super excited.
This trailer was so much better than the other one, and it gave you more depth of him. So it's not just him going mad, but there's like a love interest, like a female.
That part was a little weird to me,
But you would think that he probably had a love, trying to be a
Maybe.
normal person.
Maybe it's a one-sided love interest.
It
Yeah.
definitely looks one-sided
It could
for
be.
sure.
I mean, I thought the first teaser was
Someone
already
who's nice to
incredible,
him, but he takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Type thing.
that poor guy.
One
The first
bad
teaser was
day.
already incredible, but this one, I have to agree, is even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked into Cody's office and saw her go, "Wow, this looks really good," and I think that's plenty of praise right there.
Right. Well, if it gets somebody like me that doesn't usually
Exactly.
like it to be like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks
Yeah.
amazing.
What were your thoughts on the Terminator trailer that just dropped today?
I liked it. Again, Eric is not about it, but
Nah.
I
like it more than the teaser.
I have to admit
guess.
that personally, like when James Cameron came out and made that speech about strong women and how he's only ever shown strong women in his films, and I'm like,
Yeah. Shut up.
so
That was a weird comment.
and then so that's always been kind of in the back of my mind. I'm trying not to judge the film because now he's like, here's my strong woman. I'm making her the
He wasn't
center
even
of
on
the film.
set for the entire time they were making the movie.
I know. I'm just trying not to judge it. So
I
part of
don't
me was like reluctant to like this movie, but I don't love Linda Hamilton's character, and I never have really liked her Sarah Connor character.
Whoa, hot
take.
take.
Don't.
I love her. She's crazy and hard to watch in parts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. I love the
She's
first
gone
two.
through a lot.
I love the first two. This one looks.
I like the human, like enhanced human character. That to me is like what is I find
know.
appealing.
I feel like I've seen that before in lots of other sci-fi movies, like Blade Runner 2049, which Mackenzie Davis was also in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. This one just seems a little bit too soft rebooty. Like it looks like Terminator 2, but the characters have been swapped out for basically the same character.
Yeah.
They just look different.
I liked how the bad Terminator guy that's after him, he talks.
That is pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That
He did look pretty scary in this
he
trailer.
looks
I'll
scary.
admit.
He talks. He had a little bit of charisma when he talks, so you're just like, you could just
My
blend
whole
in so
body's a
well.
weapon. It's like, oof.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This one.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that I think it looks horrible, and then it came out that it was announced that James Cameron, like I said, he was never even on set, and so much of this marketing was built up like James Cameron's returning. Remember he made the first two, and those were great.
He's been the producer.
So this one's
going to
be great too. But then it's also announced that it's going to be a trilogy, and it's like, no.
Oh,
really?
they announced it's going to
Yes.
be
Oh, no,
the beginning
that's
of a
the
trilogy.
curse.
Yes, it's the start of a new trilogy.
Oh, that's a curse.
It's like,
Don't
no,
do that.
Just stop.
Never announce those things until you know exactly
should
the
be-
box office numbers.
Yeah, don't ever say that, and don't plan.
Remember what
for
happened
it.
to Power Rangers. We will not do that again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's everything I hate about the reboot, soft
Yeah.
reboot, prequel, sequel. Nothing ever ends.
I hate a story that has, like you said, no ending. Like, it has no purpose. Like, this was just a step to get us to a different narrative. But I want this narrative, and I want this narrative to end and be its own thing.
I hate to break it to you, but it's not.
Yeah. Does that mean we get more Arnold though? Grizzly, old.
I don't know. I will
white-
always
white
love seeing
beard
Arnold on
Arnold.
screen, no matter what he looks like.
Yeah.
But
I did like
I
the
don't know.
scene where Linda Hamilton was, as Sarah Connor was like, "When this is over, I will kill you." And he's like, "All right,
I understand.
I understand."
Yeah, what was the reason? I thought they were good buddy at the end of Judgment Day. Did I
Well,
miss
he died
something?
in Judgment Day.
Right.
That
Yeah.
model. I'm assuming this is just a different model because he was the
Right.
T800, T801 or something.
Okay, I'm just forgetting things.
So he's
then,
just another one, but the thing about those models is they were all meant to kill John Connor.
Yeah.
It's just that one ended up being good.
Right.
So him back in the day, because I read a little bit of the character bio. Apparently he was one of the Terminators that were supposed to kill John Connor, but for some reason he was just like, yeah, screw this, and he just went and retired and lived in a cabin out in the woods.
All right. Maybe that's
Which is kind of a cool approach to this character.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the same one.
Okay, then now that makes more sense.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
One,
I blindly like this trailer.
that one had to destroy his chip or something internally, and the only way to do that was if he melted himself, because the chip is what was used to further the Skynet or
Yeah,
something.
he sunk into the
Mhm.
lava with the thumbs up, like
Yep.
most iconic shot ever. Which is such a good scene.
It does bring a tear to your eye
With
because
that
the kid's like,
Terminator
"No,
music.
no."
Love it.
And now we have Dark Fate.
Fate.
That might go back to the glory days. Hopefully, maybe this time.
I liked the trailer. I thought it was good.
It does look well shot, better than the past movies I've seen.
Yeah.
True.
It looks better. Maybe that's what's getting me too, is that it actually like looks good. So I don't know. Blind.
I've been
hope.
there before.
Well, yeah, same.
I need to see the movie first. But yeah,
Fair
I think
enough.
that's pretty much everything we have.
So what
right?
are we going to watch this weekend? What's going to happen? Labor Day weekend. There's not any huge wide releases.
No,
this
there's that
weekend.
Don't Let Go movie,
But that
but
only has,
that's-
like, 900
Yeah, that's not
credits.
really going.
Very limited.
Not that it would probably make anything anyways, sadly.
It's
But
a Blumhouse film.
It's like their
Blumhouse has a lot of movies.
It's like their lower company though. I believe
Yeah.
it's Blumhouse Tilt
yeah.
or something like that. So
I mean,
then
I know
again, they did give us Upgrade,
That's
and that
their
one was
urban
good,
development
so.
company.
like I said, I'm seeing the Midsummer Director's Cut, and I'll also try and check out The Farewell.
Yeah.
The
Which I've been really
Spider-Man
excited for.
extended cut is out, but I'm gonna boycott Sony until they give us Tom Holland back. So
Sony.
Oh no, you're on Team
Has
Disney?
Sony
No,
is
I'm
not-
just kidding.
They're not taking away Tom Holland.
no, I
Get
know,
outta
I'm
here.
just kidding. I'm
They're
kidding.
just putting him in the cage.
No, honestly, they're putting him in the cage. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping to see The Farewell because I found out it finally got to our theater. So
Yeah,
hopefully
me
I'll
too.
get around to that one. But mostly I would say this is a catch-up weekend. If you haven't seen something like Peanut Butter Falcon, go see it.
This is like
Just a
the
suggestion.
last big weekend, last holiday weekend for a while. So
Mm-hmm.
So
Go enjoy
exciting!
it.
I'm so
Be safe,
excited
go see
for this
movies.
Director's Cut.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go
curious to see
camping.
how much more they add to it.
Yeah, it's like half an hour.
Yeah.
They had a half an hour of footage.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's better than Spider-Man's 5 minutes of additional footage.
8.
Is it 8 now? I don't
Maybe
know. I
it's
saw
5.
4.
I think it's
and,
5 minutes.
Oh no, I'm getting confused with the Downton Abbey 8-minute
Oh, so
featurette.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody, there's Downton Abbey sneaks on September 12th.
So
It's sneak
it's a new
preview.
term.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that term.
Yeah,
It's
the
this
12th only.
12th only, 7 o'clock. Check your local theater, see if it's getting it. There's 8 minutes of additional footage that they're not even going to show in the regular Downton
Yeah,
Abbey runs.
Which is
I'm
weird.
assuming
but
that's
alright.
probably like a recap sort of.
It's like an 8 minutes of traditional from the last episode of the TV show takes you to where this movie starts, but it's only in these sneak previews. You're not going to see it in regular Downton Abbey runs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good little
Yeah.
marketing thing.
Yeah, so
I mean,
if you're into Downton Abbey.
This is a movie clearly just for fans of the show, so you might as well lean into it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the show ended a while ago.
Yeah, I guess a few years ago, maybe. I don't know.
I never watched it.
Me either.
I heard it's really good though.
Probably is.
And they're bringing the whole cast back, so
That's true. There's a lot of them.
yeah.
So yeah, that's Midsummer Director's Cut, Spider-Man Extended Cut, and
They're bring back a Toy Story this week.
Oh,
Really?
are they?
No additional footage or anything fun. Just
I need
bringing
to see,
it
I want
back
to see it again.
into first runs. And then that Don't Let Go.
Yeah, it's just a weekend of holdovers, pretty much.
I would almost go see Good Boys again.
I mean, yeah, it's
That was so funny.
it was a really
see it
really good
again.
movie. I liked it a lot.
I don't often go to movies twice, but
I like it even more as I think back on it.
I think I'm gonna like it more the second time around because like there's the anticipation of the jokes, and then when they land, you're like, oh,
That's what I told you guys.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Kyle was right.
Told you. Kyle was right for once. Kyle won. Everyone else a gajillion.
Cool.
Does that wrap everything up?
I think
it
so.
does.
Have a great Labor Day weekend, everyone. We
Yep.
will be back next week,
Perfect.
hopefully with some more catch up.
Yeah, hopefully we can tell you how the farewell was.
Yes.
I'll try to.
Well, I'll try to. I think
I
we're all trying to
will.
see it.
Eric will.
There is one
Eric-
try.
Eric, will you just tell me what the extra Midsommar stuff was after you see it, so I don't have to go watch it?
I think he
Yeah.
first has to explain like what the movie is, so that way there's.
I've talked
Oh,
to
we've
her a
talked
little
to-
bit.
Have you talked
Yeah.
about? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know what happens in
Okay.
it.
Cool.
I know what it's all about.
I think there's some new footage pre-Sweden and then a lot of new footage in Sweden. So probably more rituals and cool stuff.
yeah.
And more just douchebaggery from her boyfriend.
Right. All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
So
Well, have a good weekend, everyone.
Take it easy.
Bye.